Welcome to Sensible Secondhand Reviews, the series where we look at sensible and practical cars that you can buy between a budget of £1,000 and £5,000. This is a 2017 Volkswagen Golf SV 1.4 TSI GT. But is it any good? Should you care? Let's find out, shall we? So we're really pushing the £5,000 budget with this particular car. Obviously it's worth a lot more than £5,000 this particular example, but I have found a Golf SV on Facebook Marketplace for £4,500, so we're just within budget with this particular car. The SV is a variant obviously of the Mark VII Golf, and was launched in this country in 2014. It continued through until 2020, and then I don't think has actually been replaced. More like the Touran, it's not one of those cars that's really particularly sort of fashionable anymore for people. And actually in Germany, this car was a much better seller than in this country. It outsold the sort of ratio of Golfs to Golf SVs in Germany by something like 10 to 1 compared with Britain. So these are quite rare cars. They're very nice. They're just very rare. They had a number of same engines as lots of other Volkswagen Group products did. The basic one in this car was an 83 horsepower 1.2 TSI engine. That was also accompanied, when the car was launched, by a 108 horsepower version of that engine. Later on in 2018, that was replaced with a pair of 1 litre TSI engines. Of course, many of you will be familiar with those. We've had many cars with those engines on the channel before, including Polo that I actually filmed yesterday at Langley Prestige in Chelmsford, who've been very kind to supply a lot of cars for filming over the last few days. Simon is a big fan of the channel, who runs the dealership. Also above that were 2 1.4 TSI engines. One of those produced 123 horsepower, and the other, like this, 147 horsepower. Later, that was replaced by a pair of 1.5 engines. They were sort of brand new for around 2017-2018. The car was facelifted in late 2017. This is actually a pre-facelift car. One produced about 128 horsepower, the other 147 horsepower. Right at the end, about October 2018, the 108 horsepower 1 litre TSI was upgraded to 113 horsepower. There are also some diesels available, but as usual, due to controversial government legislation and all kinds of other reasons, we don't talk about diesels on this channel. What we do talk about is the fact that this car seems to roll an awful lot more than the standard Golf. I've actually had a Mark 7.5 Golf, which would have been contemporary with this car, on the channel all the way back in 2019, one of the first cars we ever had, and it feels similar to drive. Obviously the dash is a lot higher in this. Gearbox is nice and slick. The one I drove back in 2019 was an automatic. This is a manual. Obviously make sure if you're buying one of those autos it'll be a DSG, so test those carefully. Yeah, but steering's very light, visibility is very good. Just roll a bit of a corner, but rides quite comfortable, as you expect for a car that's really aimed at families. So as usual, viewers, I must apologise for Some of the background noise, that road's a little bit busier than I imagined when I first came here. I think this Golf SV looks very neat, even though this is a pre-facelift car, a very late one at that. I think it looks very neat, particularly this GT model with all these extra bits of chrome and the chrome roof rails and things like that. This colour is also very nice indeed. This one's just done 45,000 miles, and it's in very, very good condition. Not really sure why it's got a Swiss sticker on the back, but you know, there we go. Just a normal boot, nothing fancy. I don't think it's electric tailgate available at all actually on these. Oh yes, yes please viewers. I don't know why my trade plate has fallen out. Right, I'll just have to deal with that. Also we can move this up the way, can't we? Here we go. Right. We've got little things in here for sort of various permutations of boot floor. You can adjust this down, you can slide the seats forwards, all the sort of stuff. So the standard Golf has got a boot capacity of 380 litres. This has 500, and if you slide the seats forward as well, you can have 590 litres, which is completely insane. One thing I would like to see on a top specification car like this is a reversing camera, but it doesn't have one. I presume that was an option, which is a bit annoying, but there we go. Let's have a look at some sort of practical features in this boot. These are interesting. What on earth are those for? Did you pull that out? I don't know, viewers. Let me know in the comment section below what that's actually for, because I can't really work out what that would be. You've got some nice big fixed hooks in here, metal tethering points. Boot light unfortunately is just a standard one, it's not an LED one. But yes, lots and lots and lots of practicality in a very, very good shape for sliding things in and out. There's hardly any low lip whatsoever. Right, let me move this stuff into the middle seat, and then we will continue with our exploration of this enormous cargo area. So we've put the low floor into the bottom position. That's how you get the 500 litres. To lift this up, you can see we've actually got a space saver spare wheel in there. If you want to raise this higher, it's very hard to do this with one hand. Oh, there we go. Gosh, it's really hard to do with one hand. Oh, yeah, I might not be able to do this at all, viewers. That is a really heavy floor. I'm gonna have to put that back with two hands. But yeah, you can see you can raise or lower the floor. So much space in here, even with this space of a spare tyre in there. It's fantastic, isn't it? So we've got the 17-inch wheels on this car. I think it actually looks quite sort of handsome for an MPV. So what I've done already is put up that picnic table on that side. See that everywhere's got little stowage compartments, like there and underneath there as well. So put that one up, we'll leave this one down. It's very easy to get in and out, really easy because of this very high roof line. So I'll keep the key on me, don't lose it. Nice little sort of piano black inserts. Do we get... No, still haven't got soft touch door tops. Same as the standard Golf Mark VII. There we've got the vents in there, which is nice. 12-volt socket. Very plush upholstery. It's not leather seats in here or anything. Maybe that was only on the GT edition, that was one above this in the range. Cup holders and a very, very big centre armrest. That's massive. So that's, I think, for tugging the seat down. Let's see if we can get this to slide. There should be a handle underneath here somewhere. There we go. There we go. Yeah, that's working. This is the first time in my life of one of these. Yeah, I can look at the only room now, and I got loads. Got none, and I got loads. Brilliant. That's really practical. So if you slide those forward, you get 590 litres if you put that boot floor down. That incredibly heavy boot floor. Also got individual courtesy lights in here for the rear seat passengers. Of course, we've got Isofix child seat mounts in here funnily enough, we don't have any covers on them, which is good, because covers on the Mark VII Golf, the Isofix, are very, very, very annoying. Felt lined rear door pockets, and they're absolutely enormous. Wow. Nice bit of trim on there, trim on there. Seen that's gloss black thing already. The door panels even feel a little bit nicely damped. Getting out, not a problem. If you've got somebody who's got mobility issues, we need to get child seats in and out of cars, and I have struggled with getting child seats in and out of cars before myself as well, and this will be pretty good. One thing it's missing in the car compared with the Golf Plus that came before this, and I've done one of those on my channel for no budget reviews, I'll put a link to that description below, is the massive sort of overhead console that car had, sort of 4 different compartments all the way along. This has only got one. It's a very big sunglasses thing. The rear lights can be turned on from here. It's interesting. Do we have a light for the mirror on the sun visor? Yes, we do. It's an LED one as well. A little ticket clip. Do we have one that side? Yes, we do. Brilliant. Right, so no normal handbrake in this. It's an electronic one, which is really annoying. But at least it has an auto hold function, so most people won't even notice when they're driving it. The typical driver of a Golf SV is really not going to be somebody who cares much about sort of manual handbrakes and things like that. 12-volt socket in there, USB input, and an aux input. Big, massive, massive container underneath the middle armrest. I think we've actually only got, this is bizarre, if this is the way Golf Mark 7s were as well, it's really strange. You expect in this car to have dual zone climate control and a reversing camera, but this car hasn't got either of those things. Obviously, I don't think it's going to bother a lot of people, but it's just very strange. It's a little bit mean, really. And we've got a compartment up the dash as well, underneath the new phone that I use for recording our footage. These stalks that are in just everything, my Sensible Mark IV had these as well. This steering wheel was in the Polo that I drove yesterday, that Simon from Langley Prestige also has in his stock. So cruise control on here. Also got buttons are going through the menus. We'll have a look at that in a moment. And there's a volume controls just over here. Automatic headlamps on this car. That switch has been in a lot of Volkswagen Group products, hasn't it? That particular headlight switch. I think we've got automatic wipers, but I'm not actually entirely sure on this car. Let's see how practical this glove box is by using the secret mission documents. Oh my gosh! Like a lot of Volkswagen Group cars of this time, the CD player is actually in here, as is the sat-nav memory card, and obviously you can have a memory card for the infotainment system as well, just for, you know, storing music on. Then there's this weird kind of thing over here, which is for, I think, coin slots and that kind of thing. That's strange. Not very good, though, viewers, I think I would say about that. Right, let me just after having a look at these enormous door bins. Oh my gosh, that's massive. You can probably get a person in there. We will shut the door and we will continue our look at the inside of the car. Okay, viewers, our fuel economy figure has not been very good, but that's only because I've driven only 2 miles. So this particular display is the one that's in an absolute ton of Volkswagen Group products from the mid-2010s. So many cars had this. It even told me that you know, we might be able to find a petrol station because our fuel is low. So cancel that though. One thing I've noticed, and this has gone away now on here, is that when you start the car up, it actually tells you which of the rear seats are belted up to make sure that your children don't take them off. That's pretty good. Look at the sat-nav. It's the good old Volkswagen Group sat-nav that used to be in my old Mark IV Toledo. It's okay. It's not brilliant. It'll get you to places where you need to go. But the problem is that I don't think this car has automatically got Apple CarPlay and Android Auto in it. We'll go with media and see if that does anything, and see if source and see if that does anything. But yeah, we can have Bluetooth audio and aux in and all that sort of stuff. Yes, like an SD card's not in. See if there's anything else that we can sort of have. Selection, what does that do? No, I don't think this has that compatibility. I might be wrong. Oh, look, App Connect, this is it. Yeah. Naughty, naughty Volkswagen. That's very naughty. CarNet. I bet not like Skynet. Ooh, ho, ho, ho. Don't want Skynet in your car, do you, viewers? That's not good. Images, they can put USB stick in there. Sound. It's not the most responsive touchscreen, but this car is now going on for sort of 6 years old actually now, to 2017. So this is what they were like, isn't it, back in the day? Nice squishy dash, very much higher up than in the standard Golf, which is good. You do feel a bit sort of more kind of commanding in this car than you would do. It just reminds you just how low most of the standard family hatchbacks are. I've got little windows here to help you see out of junctions and that kind of thing. Yeah, it's all very well thought out. Nice sort of velour inserts on these seats. I would prefer leather myself, but never mind. Let's have a look under the bonnet though. So the 1.4 TSI engine in this, which generates 147 horsepower. Good old Volkswagen coolant reservoir that's been around since the dawn of time in here. This is actually the same engine that I drove in an Audi Q3 back in 2019 on Tweed Jacket Reviews. Again, like the Golf Mark 7.5 that I did. I think it was the same weekend we did that or something. Shows you how long the channel's been going now. You do have to watch certain engines of these in particular. The 1.2 TSI has a timing chain, and if you don't look after those, they can snap, which isn't too much fun. I think these 1.4s have a cam belt, so just make sure that's been done at the specified intervals. Because this car could accommodate engines of up to 2 litres, you can see that actually there's a fair amount of space around this to, work on things and just what sort of condition this is in, which is very nice indeed. Right, let's go out for another drive, shall we? Before we go for that drive though, viewers, there's something I forgot to say. This car's actually got the driving mode selector in it, so if we press that button, we can see we can have Eco, Normal, Sport and Individual. So yeah, you can actually configure the steering, drive, all that kind of stuff. I might reset that in a second, just leave that there. It's Individual, Sport. I think we've just got that in sort of normal at the moment. Another thing to say is that this is a 6-speed manual in it with the automatic handbrake. But if you are going for a DSG one of these, you must check that gearbox has been serviced. Absolutely check. It's best to do it at least every 40,000 miles, just by what the manufacturer says. It's not a fill and forget gearbox, and I've actually sourced a car before with one of these gearboxes which I advised the client to service. He didn't service it and there were problems. So if you are going to buy the DSG, please make sure it's serviced. Lloyd Consulting stickers, t-shirts and mugs are available by clicking the link to the Google form in the video description below. No nasty surprises in the way that this car drives, but you might find experience just maybe a tad on the sort of dull side in comparison to something like, I don't know, Mazda 3, something like that. But never mind, that's not really the same kind of market that this car's going for. Let's now look at some Golf SV or Sportsvan, they are also called trim levels. The S, the SE, the SE Nav, the SE Bluemotion, the GT like this, although it's technically a Bluemotion GT, the GT Edition, the Match, and the Match Edition. The Match Editions tend to be the best equipped. They tend for some sort of right at the end of production of most Volkswagens. This car's actually got a 5 cm long wheelbase, and the rear seat of this car is 53.5 cm higher than the standard Golf. So if you're getting, I don't know, people with mobility issues, child seats in and out, and that might be a factor for you. Also, the total volume when you fold down the rear seats is 1,520 litres, which is absolutely enormous. That's almost the same as a Golf Mark VII Estate. So viewers, should you consider a Golf SV for your hard-earned budget of between £1,000 and £5,000, or in this case, probably a little bit more than that? Well, it depends what you want. We tend to be just more into the normal estates in this country. That's probably what's sold better than these. I don't think a lot of people even know that these things exist, to be honest. It's very much like the standard Golf, and that's hardly a surprise. It depends if you really like this kind of thing, or if you don't. I mean, some of you probably do. Some of you're not very fond of them. That's it. It all comes down to personal preference. Got to watch those 1.2 TSI, as I said, but 1 litre TSI engines that a lot of these have as well. Those have a wet timing belt, and you've got to make sure that you change that at, probably before the specified interval, because there have been problems with those. But anyway, thank you ever so much indeed for watching this episode of Sensible Secondhand Reviews. Thank you to Simon for lending Prestige for letting me to drive this car, and about 5 others that I'm doing over a couple of days. And don't forget to like this video, leave a comment below, and we shall see you again soon for more reasonably priced motoring.